You're listening to the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Also, be sure to check out Play Callers. New episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Tigers Den. We're so glad to have y'all listening to this podcast week by week. And today we got a great show for y'all. We're going to be looking back at what was a great all weekend, as well as some historic performances in the NFL, as well as the Major League Baseball playoff race is tightening up as we get closer to the postseason. All of that and more today on the Tigers Den. Now, Reese, get us started with some weekend rundown. Go ahead and run down this weekend, baby.
This is the weekend rundown. I hope y'all are having a great weekend, or I hope y'all had a great weekend. And I'm just going to get us started with some high school football. So this weekend, Thompson, who is number 3 in state, they blew out Chelsea. And I know Taylor on Countdown picked Chelsea. Yeah, they are. That's who. Weren't we trying to pick?
Thompson's number 1.
It literally says number 3.
Thompson's number 1. I don't know what you're looking at, but Thompson's number 1.
Looking at Max Preps.
Yeah, Max Preps is wrong.
Yeah.
HSMHS. Shout out. HSMHS.
Yeah, no, so Thompson won 45-0. Taylor, that might have...
We knew he was joking.
Yeah, we knew he was joking.
No, I just did it because I had family ties in Chelsea.
Were they upset?
They knew they were going to lose.
Oh.
And then Vestavia Hills beat Spain Park pretty bad as well. Vestavia, I think we kind of all expected that to happen, though, because Spain Park's decent, but they're not good. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
Hewitt beat a struggling Hoover team. This is the 4th loss for Hoover this year already. So I don't know what's going to happen to Hoover. They might not make the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah, it's a struggle. They've also played some really good teams though as well.
What's their schedule look like though? Are they
for the rest of the way? I mean, I'm gonna look it up right now, but it shouldn't be terrible.
Dude.
Yeah,
I think
they're
they're
terrible because
definitely easier than it was their first season.
Yeah, because look who they've already played. I mean, like they played the bulk of their schedule.
All right, they Brook,
that's
Oak
not
Mountain, Tuscaloosa County, Chelsea, and Thompson. So they'll win their next 4 games pretty easily.
Yeah, they might be able to win those 4 games and then possibly get themselves sneak into the playoffs.
I mean, they have Thompson. They'll be 5-4.
I don't know if that's enough to get you in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, 5-5, 5-5.
Yeah, you'll be 5-5 because you should be able to beat those other 4.
It's top 4 in their region, right? That make the playoffs. So it'd be Thompson, Hewitt, Vestavia.
I mean, you got Vestavia Hills, Hewitt, Thompson, and Tuscaloosa County are above them right now.
Yeah, I don't think Tuscaloosa is going to win more than 1 game the rest of the way.
Yeah,
they're definitely not beating Hoover, Thompson, or Vestavia.
I mean,
and they might lose.
Tuscaloosa County has Spain, Hoover, Thompson, Vestavia, and Brookwood. So
yeah, the only one I see them winning like for sure is Brookwood. So we'll see. It'll be interesting down the stretch.
And then on Friday night, also the night before homecoming for Auburn. Auburn gets the victory against Percy Julian, 48-7, or actually 48-13. Max Preps messed up.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, Auburn was able to get the big dub against Percy Julian, and next week's gonna be very tough against Ramsey, who, Ramsey has good. They're a very good team.
Their quarterback's really good.
Are they 5A?
I think they're the number 1 5A team. So
yeah, I think they're the number 1 5A team.
And it's in Birmingham, so I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be a very tough game, especially for Auburn going to Ramsey. But we did beat Hoover away, so maybe we can beat another Birmingham school away. And then next I'm gonna go to Opelika and Prattville. Opelika absolutely destroyed Prattville, 38-13. We picked this game on Countdown as well, and I'm pretty sure we all picked Opelika, right?
Yeah. Well,
we
all did.
Yeah, I mean, easily picked Opelika.
Yeah, is Prattville going to win another game the rest of the year?
I don't know.
Let's see who
they are not good. Like, Like if we were doing trash can today, like that they could possibly be a trash.
They
can.
could possibly be, the trash can.
All
Let's
right,
see.
they're playing Stanhope Elmore.
I have no idea who that is, so maybe they'll win.
Enterprise, Jag, Percy Julian, Auburn, and Central. They'll probably beat Jag and Percy Julian and Stanhope Elmore, and then lose to Enterprise, Auburn, and Central easily.
So they're definitely not making the playoffs.
No, definitely.
The playoffs, I see it as the playoffs is going to get interesting with Region 2.
For Region 2, I see Central.
Yeah.
Because you have Central, Auburn, Dothan, Opelika, Enterprise that all have chances.
Yeah.
And one of those teams is not going to make it.
Yeah, it's going to be a real toss-up between Dothan, Enterprise, and Opelika, I feel like.
Honestly,
since they've all
making the playoffs. I think Opelika and Enterprise are good teams. I think Dothan's a little overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad take.
Now we're going to move into the college football games. A lot of great games this weekend. A lot of ranked unranked matchups, and
Separation Saturday.
I'm going to get it started. I don't really want to talk about this matchup, but Auburn's got to fix some things. Losing to Texas A&M at Texas A&M 27-10 is not. Can't do that.
I mean, if there was a game to prove that we were in a first year head coaching like season, that game really proved it.
And I mean, our team is our whole team is.
Yeah.
I think we only have like 5, some crazy number like that.
Yeah. Whenever they said Separation Saturday, which was being this Saturday, I mean, I think it really revealed the teams that like gelled the best versus the teams like Colorado and Auburn who just they have all transfers, so they can't really gel.
I do think that a lot of the thing is next year we might not have the problem is we might not have a quarterback. I know Walker White's coming in, but he's going to be a freshman, and there's a chance that he might not play like most of the season because, he might just Hugh Freeze might just try to get him acclimated since it's his first year and just play him maybe 4 non-conference games, maybe the 4 non-conference games he'll play. And
so,
I do think next year that there's a possibility if Holden gets better over the offseason, or maybe Hank Brown could come in and be the quarterback.
We're not going to play Hank Brown.
Yeah. So
Hank Brown.
Who do y'all see starting next weekend?
Probably Ashford's going to start next weekend. I don't see Peyton Thorne. I see Peyton Thorne transferring after this year, actually.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah. I see him.
Word.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna go to like Alabama State. Oh wait, that's a HBCU, so he's gonna have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he's gonna go some small school like TJ Finley did. So
yeah.
But another good game this weekend was that Florida State and Clemson game. It went into overtime. Mm-hmm. It could have been ended in regulation if Clemson's kicker didn't miss the 30-yard chip shot.
Yeah.
Win. And Dabo Swinney
on campus tomorrow. Hey, not for me. I don't go to Clemson. That's not
Yeah, that but that game was actually insane.
Yeah. I thought their kicker was great last year. Isn't it BT Potter? That's his name.
He was good. Dabo Swinney was hyping him up before the game even started.
But he's already missed 5 field goals this year. So
yeah, he hasn't really done that well. And then Ohio State went in.
Yeah, I was so surprised by this. Actually,
I didn't get to watch that game, but
it's
amazing.
Because last week weren't we dissing on Ohio State about how over?
Reese, me and you picked Notre Dame. Taylor actually did pick Ohio State. So
yeah,
yeah,
and
yep.
Iowa got blown out.
No surprise from me.
Iowa as awful as Auburn's.
Exactly. If Auburn and Iowa played, it would be 3-0.
Isn't it Cade McNamara is Iowa's quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah, he's good. And then Taylor's I got to do this for Taylor. Taylor's favorite team, the Oregon Ducks, blew out the fraudulent
Fly Ducks fly, baby. Fly Ducks fly.
Fraudulent Colorado Buffaloes.
Here's what
why you don't step on the O.
Here's what I'll say about the game, okay? So on this podcast, for y'all listening, we all picked Oregon, okay? But when we were watching this game, we watched a little bit of the beginning game together, and y'all both were, rooting a lot for Oregon. I was rooting for Colorado. I wanted to see the underdog. I'm a fan of Coach Prime. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good guy. And
He's
it was
not.
obviously proven that Colorado's definitely not there yet, not even close. But
Nope.
this is what I'll say is I think that next week's game at home against USC, especially the way that USC struggled against Arizona State, I think that game gets really interesting because Colorado, like what Deion Sanders, hear me out. In the press conference, he was saying he has his work cut out for him. Like he said, he took accountability. He said that was a good old fashioned, butt whooping. To quote his words, they got washed. They got pushed over and shoved, and Oregon was the better team. But going into the next game, he's got his work cut out for him. If they're able to make those adjustments, I just think that game could be interesting. That's all I'm going to say about it. But we'll talk about it more on Prize Picks. But that's all I'll say.
And then another good Pac-12 game that we picked on Prize Picks last week was Utah and UCLA. Not a lot of scoring in this game, actually a lot of defense. Utah got the scoring started in the first quarter with that pick six. Their defensive line pick six. I think it was about a 10 pick six. But Utah really they've got to score a lot of points. They got to score a lot more points than 14 because especially in a good Pac-12 division with teams like Oregon and USC getting a lot of points in their games, you can't just score 14 if you're ranked number 11 in the country. But actually, the new
yeah, I mean, if they still don't have Cam Rising back though. We also forget that. I mean, once Cam Rising gets back, I feel like they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, it might take.
Who does Utah play next?
Or at Oregon State.
Yeah,
and Friday night game too.
That's gonna be a pretty good one. But.
Yeah.
And then another SEC matchup that was really good was LSU at home against Arkansas. Arkansas held their own against LSU. I was actually surprised in Death Valley that it was a 3-point game to as the final, 34-31. Arkansas almost won this game, but LSU pulled out at the end. And LSU plays Ole Miss next week?
Yeah. So coming out of this weekend, just real quick, is y'all's SEC West favorite to win the West? Because I know we had a lot of SEC West games, including Ole Miss, Alabama, which I'm sure you're going to get to. Who do y'all have as y'all's favorite right now? Because mine is Bama.
I'm going to go with LSU. I think Bama, it was just I think Bama, Ole Miss is a little bit overrated, honestly. Even though I picked them on Prize Picks last week, I just thought Alabama wasn't that good. But I think Ole Miss is a little overrated, and I think LSU will honestly – LSU's got Ole Miss and then Auburn. I think LSU will blow out Ole Miss in Ole Miss, and then I think they'll blow out Auburn at home in Death Valley.
Well, I mean, they go to Alabama though. Also,
I still think LSU will be able to handle Bryant-Denny Stadium and play a game like Alabama and Texas played. It will be like a 10-point loss for Alabama at home, and then LSU and either LSU and Georgia or LSU and I don't even know.
No, it's Georgia. Don't.
I don't know about y'all, but they actually play a decent team this week. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the biggest question mark right now in the SEC to me.
Is that at Kentucky or is that in the Swamp?
It's
honestly,
at Kentucky.
For the SEC West, this isn't like a hot take or anything. I'm going to have to go Texas A&M.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's
actually not a bad take.
Hey, they have Alabama at home. They go to Tennessee, which will be a hard game. But, Tennessee,
they're not great.
They usually are. And then at Ole Miss. Those are their only 3 hard games. So
do they got LSU at home?
They don't play LSU this year. Oh, no, they play at LSU at the end of the season.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a rivalry. They can't play that.
How bad is – because I saw we were watching the game, Connor Wakeman got hurt. How bad is he? But, I mean, hey, that Max Johnson kid, he came in, he was dealing. I'm not going to lie. He was throwing the rock really good. So
I think
I wonder how badly hurt Connor Wakeman is.
Honestly, if I was Jimbo, I would not start Wakeman the rest of the season. I would start Johnson.
It says on ESPN that he's fine. So
actually, I mean, here's the thing, Reese. I would agree with you, but Connor Wakeman, you have to remember, Connor Wakeman going into this game led the country in QBR. So
yeah, but if you look at it though, you realize when Wakeman was in the game, Auburn was able to stop him. But when Johnson came in the game, Auburn wasn't able to stop him. So obviously, if you have a guy like Max Johnson playing against teams like Alabama and stuff, you'll be able to beat teams like that if he's starting. And I don't think if Wakeman's starting, we saw it against Miami. Wakeman didn't play too good, and we saw it in the first half against Auburn before he got injured. He didn't look too good. Auburn could have won that game if Wakeman stayed in the whole game.
Who do they play next week?
Texas A&M.
They play.
Yeah,
At home against Arkansas. So.
Oh, no! Wait,
I mean,
no,
honestly.
is that in Arlington? That might be in Arlington because that's the.
Oh yeah, it's the weird. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It is in AT&T.
Oh yeah, it's in
Stadium,
18th.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Honestly, that game I would try out the Johnson kid just to see how good he is.
I mean, honestly, in Dallas, it's going to be a home game for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Plus Arkansas.
anyway, what else we got, Reese?
Well, we already talked about Alabama and Ole Miss basically.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Alabama. I told you Saban would get it done. I mean, that's what me and Taylor said. Saban would get it done.
And then that Pac-12, the other Pac-12 game I was really interested in was Oregon State and Washington State, and it did not disappoint at all. Oregon State almost made a comeback in the fourth quarter, scoring 21 points in that fourth quarter, but then Washington State had a game winner to steal it in Pullman. And
that didn't really do a lot to the rankings because Oregon State is still ranked.
Yeah.
State is still ranked. So.
Here's what I'll say. I wasn't surprised by anything in this game. I thought it would be a really close one, and I thought Washington State would win. And I also thought Cam Ward would play really good, which he did, 28 for 34, 404 yards with 4 touchdowns. And I also thought DJU would play really bad, 17 for 34, 198 yards, touchdown and an interception. So,
hey, no, DJU, he played 198 yards is not that bad actually.
It's 17 for 34, Reese.
Yeah, well, terrible.
Yeah, 17 for 34. Now, he did have 61 rush yards and a touchdown, but he's still not there. He's not that guy.
Max.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy for Oregon State. You got to move on.
Yeah.
Hey, but his brother for Oregon was locking it down.
I know. Yes, I saw that.
And then, Oklahoma and Cincinnati, we earlier when we were watching the Auburn game on Saturday, we were kind of looking at that game too as maybe a sneaky game. Cincinnati they look okay on defense, holding a Oklahoma team that does score a lot of points.
Should Texas just go ahead? Like, are they just like the patented? Should they just go ahead and be the Big 12 champ at this point?
No,
they look so much better than every
Oklahoma definitely.
Hey, the Red River Showdown will be a dogfight.
Yeah,
when it comes up next week.
That should be college.
Or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, that should be college game day.
Oh, it will be. It will be.
Yeah, it's always college game day.
I mean, I think the only 3 teams that have even a chance are Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah, and Kansas is going to get blown out next week against Texas, but we'll talk about that more later.
I don't know. I really don't know because
we'll see in Prize Picks.
Yeah, no, we saw it. We saw it last year with Kansas. Remember, they beat Texas early in the year.
Yeah, well, Texas was not good last year. We'll also remember that. So,
okay, man.
Okay, they weren't. They weren't good. What do you want me to say? Oh, Texas was great. They were 6-6.
Say Kansas is a football school.
Okay.
Okay, bud. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
All right, keep going on your weekend rundown.
Yes. College. What happened in the NFL?
College. We're wrapping college up, and we're going to NFL. There's like sometimes you just don't even want to play football, and the Broncos just don't want to play football.
Yeah, it's not looking good if you're a Denver fan. It's funny. My manager at work is a Denver fan, and he was just depressed.
If you're a Denver fan, there's a lot of flights leaving Denver. If you want to get on one and go to a different NFL team, there you go. But 70-20 is not can't happen.
No, it's not good. It's not good.
If you had anybody on your fantasy team from the Miami Dolphins, you definitely got like 100 points combined for like.
Hey, I went against a guy that has Tua Tagovailoa, and I'm winning. So
Yeah.
Not expected.
I had Tyreek Hill. He did pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for the Broncos. If you saw on Twitter, you definitely saw that the Broncos players and coach were very mad at the loss. I
mean, obviously.
Yeah. And then, the Packers beat the Saints like me and Max were talking before this show. The Saints and the whole NFC South today just didn't get the job done, except the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers play tonight, primetime ESPN Monday Night Football against the Eagles, which I don't know if Baker Mayfield will work his magic or not. But, the Packers made a They were down 17-0, and they made a comeback and scored 18 in the fourth quarter.
So this is how flabbergasted I was about this matchup. I wasn't able to watch it because it was blacked out in my area.
Yeah.
But the Saints were up 17-0 in the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Start of the fourth quarter with the ball.
Yeah, I know the score, and I was like, oh, yeah, the Saints are about to go 3-0.
Yeah, and then I just looked down at my phone, and oh, wait, the Packers are up 18-17, and we missed a field goal. Like, we had a chance, and it wasn't even a super long one. It was 48 yards. It's decently long, but we just missed it. I don't get it. I don't know what happened to our defense in the fourth quarter, but
because our offense did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Derek Carr had 103 passing yards.
Derek Carr
got hurt.
I heard Carr might possibly be out for 5 to 6 weeks with the shoulder.
Wait, here's the thing. I was all over the place today, so excuse me, listeners, if I sound a little bit ignorant today on the podcast. I wasn't able to follow stuff as well. But okay, so Derek Carr did get injured, and Jameis Winston came in. Okay, so that's what happened. Jameis came in. Understandable.
But I heard a lot of people were saying possibly Derek Carr will be out for a few weeks. I don't know. And especially with the injury to Jamal Williams, the running back hamstring injury, he's out for 4 weeks. But good news for Saints fans, Alvin Kamara will be coming back this week after his 3-game suspension. So that helps a little bit with the run game for New Orleans, especially.
Also, our schedule is really easy, so yeah. I'm not entirely worried.
Y'all got the Bucks next week, so
at home. But after that, look who we got after that. We got at New England, could be a good game, but then we got at Houston Texans, poverty. And then we got
they beat the Jaguars today.
No. Yeah, I don't know. The Texans actually might be decent. Like they could be decent.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just see how it shakes out. Anything else, Reese?
Yeah. What's going on with the Jets? I
mean, they don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Still though, Zach Wilson, everybody's hyping him up, and then see what happens.
Bro, they literally started fighting on the sideline.
Yeah, they were fighting. What's his name? Michael Carter was fighting with the running backs coach for the Jets, and also Sauce Gardner was fighting with one of the DBs for the Jets as well. Can't have that. Team, especially if you're trying to make the playoffs, which the Jets,
they're not.
I don't think.
Hey, after A-Rod got hurt, I mean, it was basically over. We all predicted it. So.
Yeah, and then Buffalo today. Buffalo, that week 1 loss on Monday Night Football was just a fluke, and they proved it today. Their defense picks up 4 INTs against Sam Howell. Sam Howell, in my opinion, is actually a decent quarterback, but 4
interceptions.
This is a learning experience for him. He's gonna have to learn not to throw that many interceptions, and you're gonna get blown out like this if you turn the ball over that much, especially 37-3. Not the ideal performance from the Commanders. I actually expected this game to be very low scoring, and I actually expected the Commanders to maybe win or even play close with the Bills, but just didn't happen. Commanders next week. I think they play the Eagles, right?
Yeah, that's a loss. So.
Buddy.
But Dolphins at Bills next week is going to be that's going to be one of the best games we see all year, I think.
And then this game actually surprised me. The Colts are 2-1.
Yeah.
The Colts are 2-1 now because Matt Gay is him. Matt Gay kicked 4 50-yard field goals and I think he made NFL history by kicking those field goals, actually. I think first NFL kicker he's the first NFL kicker to make 4 50-yard or 50-yard plus field goals in a game.
Yeah, it's funny because he broke Justin Tucker's record. It was the opposing kicker. So.
Yeah, Justin Tucker missed a 61-yarder to get the Ravens the win.
Yeah,
that was actually crazy. And then this is my last NFL game. Travis Kelce had someone cheering for him in the crowd.
Taylor Swift, T-Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Probably going to break up with him and make a whole album.
He sucks at football.
Yeah. What?
He used to be on my fantasy team. I'm kidding. No, that's her album. That's what her album's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now let's talk some women's basketball, like some WNBA.
Yeah, let's go. I've been waiting.
We don't talk about that on this podcast, but let's try something new.
Yeah. We talk about every sport here.
Yeah.
Hey, hottest take is That's
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
The
All right.
the Aces have won seven. Was it?
Yes, seven straight games.
Yeah, seven
after
straight.
win today against Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
And they're-
easily the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, them and the Liberty had the 2 best records in the WNBA.
The Liberty lost today, though.
Yes, they did. The Aces had a record of 34-6 throughout the season, and the Liberty had a 32-8 record. So those are both of those teams were really good this year. And if the Aces keep it up, which I think they will, if the Aces keep it up, they will be WNBA champion.
From Oregon, Sabrina
Ionescu. Yeah.
Yeah, she's on the Liberty, so I think she's carrying them right now.
Well, right now I just found out it's the semifinals right now actually, and it's a best of 5 series. So first team to win 3 wins the series. It's the semifinals, and so they won game 1, and I expect they're gonna win game 2 and game 3 because it's just how dominant they are.
Who's on the Sun?
The Sun.
Delana Bonner. Oh, from Auburn.
Yes, from Auburn.
Shout out Auburn.
Yes, she went to Auburn University.
Shout out.
There you go.
Yeah, and I think is it Ajaya Wilson or is it?
It's Asia Wilson. I remember watching her actually at Mississippi State when they played South Carolina.
Asia Wilson today dropped 34 and then got 8 rebounds and 4 blocks. If she keeps that up with the Aces, I say the Aces probably win the WNBA championship.
Yeah, they're definitely the favorite right now, I would say.
Hey, I can't wait to see. Well, yeah, I can't wait to see the
Asia Wilson's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said Mississippi. You
said
6'4"
power forward.
You said Mississippi State, Max?
No, they played Mississippi State in a championship game. I remember watching a while back. So.
Speaking about women's basketball, I just want to highlight LSU. I feel like LSU this year, Clark for Iowa, that final was crazy. I remember watching it, and I remember it breaking records for women's basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So I know women's basketball isn't the most popular sport ever, but I mean I feel like it's growing gradually.
No, yeah, I mean 100%. I mean, what's going to get your sport to grow other than these superstar players that are just they're going to carry in viewers. For example, Caitlin Clark. I remember looking up Caitlin Clark highlights after hearing about her, and hearing about her basically being the female Steph Curry. That's what the person called her.
And Angel Reese for
Maryland
now at LSU is. I mean, she's insane. She's probably going to go next year.
Wilson from the Aces, she got another Defensive Player of the Year, which is that's back-to-back for her this year. But, that's all I have for Weekend Rundown. So,
all right. Taylor, I think it's time to call a huddle,
blow the whistle, ref. Blow the whistle, ref.
Huddle up, because it's time for Taylor's Team Huddle.
All right, so week 1 for my team. We haven't done Team Huddle in a few episodes, which I'm actually really excited for this one. But week 1 I did Colorado, TCU, of course, in that 21 underdog, And then I picked the Jets, and I guess that worked for week 1, but in the long run, it did not work at all. That was probably one of my lesser packages that I did. But I'm going to talk about some MLB. Like Max said in the intro, the MLB race right now is insane. And I want to specifically highlight the Seattle Mariners, who I actually talked about. Cool. We had a demo episode, and I talked about the Mariners, with the Rangers and everything being the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
If none of the fans listening to this are super big MLB fans, time to tune into the MLB. I mean, you got the postseason coming up and everything. And the wild card race for the AL and NL is super. And one of those teams barely out of a spot right now is the Mariners. Depending to this week, they could easily be in a wild card spot. But they just got swept by the Rangers in a crucial series. And they're only 3 games back from clinching the series, their division, and a half game behind in the wild card to the Astros. So I feel like it's because I mean, if you're the Mariners, you want to make the playoffs. And I'm
Yeah,
talking about Julio Rodriguez, who leads the AL with 179 hits. Luis
such a good
Castillo,
player.
who's a deadly pitcher. He was actually AL Cy Young favorite throughout the season, but it's going to be Garrett Cole. 14 wins, a 3.06 ERA, and 207 strikeouts. And then Teoscar Hernandez has 26 home runs, 92 RBIs, and an average of 264. I mean, I could talk about this Mariners team all day, but it isn't the deepest team. But if they can go on a run like we see most MLB teams do at this point in the year, they could easily not just make the playoffs, but they could make a run in the very tough AL this year. And most importantly, they have a 3-game Astros coming up, who they're a 0.5 or they're a half game behind the wild card race, and the Rangers where they just got swept. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely time to huddle up for these boys. It's time to go on a run and make the playoffs for the second year in a row after that 21-year hiatus in Seattle for the Mariners.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the MLB race? I mean, MLB this year, it feels like almost any team could win the World Series. I mean, you got of course, the favorites with the Braves and the Orioles being the 1 seeds. But I mean, you got the Rays, the Rangers, the Dodgers, the Twins, the Marlins, the Phillies. You got all these teams that are just deep and have leaders everywhere. And it just shows with the divisional races right now. Every single division is close. I think there's only 2 that have actually been clinched. I think that's that have actually clinched their division so far. But what do y'all think about the Mariners and this MLB?
Well, I like that you brought up the Mariners. This is the perfect time to huddle up, because you look at their schedule could not be better for them in terms of
their
yourself into
road to the playoffs. Literally, they have all control over it.
Yes,
they don't have to wait for other teams to lose and win. It's their destiny right now.
Yeah, and I mean, and they're both home series as well. At home against the Astros and at home against the Rangers. And I could easily see them winning both of those series, but I could also easily see them losing both of those series or splitting them. So it's just really a really close MLB race. I'm excited.
I mean, honestly, I think the Astros and the Rangers are a better overall team than the Mariners. Have that edge right now, being behind in the wild card race, in those series.
Yeah, but in general, I mean, I've already admitted it on this show that I don't follow MLB as much as I should, or as much as I used to. But no, I mean, this MLB race is really, really close. Any team can win it, and I'm interested to see who does. What do you think, Reese?
I think the Mariners are, we saw it last year. They upset the Blue Jays in the wild card round, and then they played good against the Astros a few games. And I think with these 2 series coming up, and they're both they're both divisional series, I think the Mariners at home, I'm a Braves fan, but literally I love the Mariners Stadium. Their fans are so amazing. Their fans will definitely show out this next week.
Honestly, I wish these games, I know that some of them will be on the weekend, but I wish all of them were on the weekend, because they play the Astros tomorrow, and you can get a ticket for $8 because it's on a Monday.
Yeah.
Well, I still think tomorrow a lot of fans will show up to the game, because the Mariners, all the Mariners have to do is just win. I know the Astros just got swept by the Royals, which is not good. If the Astros lose and get swept by the Mariners will take second place, and then if the Rangers keep losing, the Mariners will take first place and win the division, which would be, I think, second year in a row that they won the division.
Yeah.
No, actually, Astros won the division last year. My bad.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I'm very excited.
All right, so, I mean, the huddle's over. Mariners, go get it. Julio Rodriguez, I love you. You're amazing. What we got next, Max?
Who is this week's MVP?
Well, now I like that you focused on the team there. Taylor really brought the team together, really got them hyped up for this upcoming slate that's huge for the Seattle Mariners. But I don't want to focus on a player now. In a team, in a good team, you also need to have a good player on that team. And for the Dolphins, their QB right now Tua Tagovailoa, and I don't want to just focus on him because, like last week we saw I focused on DeAndre Swift because the underdog, he's kind of a comeback story, but Tua Tagovailoa is even bigger of a comeback story, and I'll tell you why. So Tua Tagovailoa last season, we remember he went down with a scary concussion where he basically looked like he was throwing up gang signs on the field against the Bengals, and a lot of people thought that he probably wouldn't play football again, or at least he shouldn't, because you will remember the week before that he also suffered a mild concussion against the Bills, and people were like questioning, why did they let him play on such short notice? And do we need to rethink the concussion protocol? Which I am glad they did. Now, if you have a concussion after a game, you have to pass a bunch of tests before you can play the next week. And I like that it's much more thorough. But like I said, people and especially analysts, I remember after that game against the Bengals, seeing a lot of analysts being like, Tua needs to retire, just for his own personal safety. And honestly, I kind of agreed with him because it was a scary injury and it wasn't far apart. I remember in separation with that Damar Hamlin injury. So I was like, we need to get some stuff fixed in the NFL because these injuries are just coming at us left and right. But this year, he couldn't have had, at least to start off the year, he couldn't have had a better start to the season. And this weekend was a perfect example of that, as he played basically a near perfect game. And I'll just break down the stats for you real quick. He was 23 of 26. That's 88.5% completion percentage with 309 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. And that was through 3.5 quarters, or 2.5 quarters, excuse me, because they brought in Mike White, because they beat the Broncos. They beat the brakes off the Denver Broncos 70-20 at home, which is 3 less points than the record for all-time points scored in a game, but it's also the most points scored in a game since 1966. That is insane. And on the season, Tua also has a completion percentage of 71.3%, 1,024 passing yards, 8 passing touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and he also has a QBR, quarterback rating, of 81.5, which currently stands at second in the league when we're recording this podcast. Hey, comeback player of the year, it could go to a lot of players. Right now, it could go to Damar Hamlin just for stepping on the field after that scary injury. It could go to DeAndre Swift with the breakout season he's having so far. We'll see how he does against the Buccaneers tomorrow night. Well, it's tonight whenever y'all listening to this podcast. But I think right now, as it stands, for all the players that were questionable this year, were they going to be really good? Were they going to, fall back and maybe possibly retire? Tua Tagovailoa has performed the best, and I look forward to see what he does in the future on the Dolphins. What do y'all think about this?
I've always liked Tua. I don't like Bama, but I've always liked Tua because he had that scary injury in college as well. He can't catch a break with injuries. But, if you look at his weapons around him, he needs to be good. He has Tyreek Hill, Jalen, Braxton Berrios, I'm pretty sure, is on the Dolphins now. He's got and who's his tight end? I'm blanking.
I'm forgetting about who it is.
But he's got Raheem Mostert coming out of the backfield. We saw A-Chain today. It's absolutely insane. And his O-line is really good. But I like Tua, but I just think with his to be good, he needs to perform like that. But I love Tua, man. You got to cheer for him after that injury last year.
Yeah, speaking of concussions, I know last year when he went down with the concussion, I know in this off season he said that after this year I might retire, and after this year's start, I really don't think he should retire. I think he should keep playing football. I think last year was just a scare, but I think this year he's showing that he's able to get back out there. And like Max said, I think he might be able to win comeback player of the year. And honestly, maybe a chance at MVP if he plays good enough.
I like that you brought that point up about MVP, Reese, because this not only if he keeps playing like this, but if the Dolphins keep playing like this, you could look at MVP award, comeback player of the year award, and just to bring it up because we're on the on this topic of the Dolphins right now, this Dolphins team looks like a team that could go all the way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way they've just been playing on both sides of the ball, the defense wasn't even terrible today. They only allowed 20 points. especially with backups in towards the end of the game. That's great. And so I don't know. What do y'all think about this Dolphins team as well as, Tua's performance?
I think
Hey, before we get into that, I'll say who's not going to win MVP is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
I think the Dolphins. Honestly, their schedule's tough. I know because they're one of the best teams in the league right now. But
Yeah.
I do think if you're able to beat some of these tough teams that you have, like for example, next week they got Buffalo, and then also I think the week after that I think they have let's see who they have here. So yeah, no, they got Buffalo, and then they got New York, and then they got Carolina. So New York and Carolina are two, I would say.
And at Philly, Kansas City, and Dallas. I mean,
you also got New England too, which New England's not a sleeper as well. And then the Raiders might not. The Raiders are okay, but they're not good.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is, this season, so far they haven't played any great teams. You could say at the Chargers. Chargers are a pretty good team, as well as at the Patriots. But they're gonna face a real tough test that they haven't faced to even close so far this year at Buffalo. And that game will really tell us a lot about this very talented Dolphins team.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for MMVP. Now, Reese, I think, we've stayed a little bit on the topic of, football teams, players. Where are you going to drive us to next with this next segment?
I'm gonna drive us to the rundown of this upcoming week, guys.
What's that? This is the road ahead.
Let's get into Reese's road ahead, baby.
We got a great road ahead. We got a great slate also in college football and other sports this weekend and this week. It's going to be amazing. We're gonna get started with Thursday night football.
Great game
next week. Yeah. It's going to be a great game next week. I'm pretty sure. Lions at Packers. This should be a great divisional game. I always love to see the NFC North teams face off, especially in prime time. Jordan Love's going to play good. I'm expecting Aaron Jones and Christian Watson to be back for the Packers next week. For
all y'all just fantasy people out there real quick. Jordan Love might need to be a pickup, especially if he's in free agency like in our league. Just saying. He's put up 20+ every week. So. And
then I know Jared Goff, I think in the Lions game will definitely throw a lot of touchdowns.
He's been impressive too.
Yeah, Jared Goff's been really good. And then also a sleeper in that game could be Jahmyr Gibbs. There's a possibility Jahmyr Gibbs could get a pretty big game going in Lambeau Field on Thursday night.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to college. I'm gonna go back to college for next week because I'm liking some of the games that I'm seeing on the college slate next week. And, some of these, I know we're probably going to pick some of these in prize picks, but I just want to talk about them really quick, just not a rundown of them, but, just a quick game. Utah is going to be playing at Oregon State on Friday night, which
huge game.
Taylor said this week, I think it was Saturday, he told me, or he told us, why was the Oregon State and Utah game on Friday? That doesn't really make any sense. I really think that game should be like a 6:30 Fox game on Saturday.
Yeah.
But, the Pac-12 just decides when their games are going to be scheduled. I guess they thought Oregon State wasn't going to be that good this year. But
yeah, I feel like that game is definitely one of those games, especially having it on Friday as well. That could be like a sleeper upset because that would be an upset if Oregon State beat them. We'll just see what happens with that, but we'll talk more about that in prize picks.
I really think the Notre Dame and Duke game will be good too. I honestly think, in my opinion, I think Duke will win that game. I do think. I wouldn't say I agree or disagree, but I would say that's not a bad take. I'm a Duke and Auburn fan, mainly a Duke fan in basketball, but I like Duke in football as well. But Duke, I do think their defense is really good. And I think Notre Dame last week showed us.
Wait, y'all know game Notre Dame versus Duke?
Yeah, the first time ever in Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's 2 Notre Dame games in a row.
I know. Well, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing I heard about it. is they announced it before that last Ohio State drive because Ohio State scored on the last play of the game, and they thought Notre Dame was going to win, and that's why they went ahead and grabbed the game to, be on College Game Day. And then Notre Dame lost, and they were like, oh.
I mean,
well,
I honestly don't know what other game it would be, though.
Yeah, because we couldn't put Georgia and Auburn because Auburn was pathetic last week. So
Yeah, the only other one I would recommend is just Kansas, Texas, just because both teams are undefeated and it's Big 12.
Yeah.
But
no. Speaking of Georgia and Auburn, that game might. Some people think it's going to be close. I necessarily don't think it's.
Who thinks it's going to be close?
There's some Auburn fans.
Hey,
think
Georgia's quarterback.
No,
that is true.
I don't think
That's
Carson Beck is. I don't think Carson Beck's
And
good.
we're the first decent team that Georgia's going to play, and it's in Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yeah, that game was sold out before the season even started. So, to be fair, I mean, it could be close. I'll go back on my word. It could be close, but we'll just see.
What game really intrigues me is the Kentucky and Florida game.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky.
We were talking about that before the podcast.
Yeah, Kentucky is at home, and Florida, honestly, in my opinion, is overrated because they played an overrated Tennessee team. And
yeah, you see Kentucky's favored right now.
Yes, I think Kentucky will win that game by like a touchdown or something. And I say Kentucky.
Hey, save it for prize picks, but yes, let's go.
Kansas and Texas honestly interests me too. I know y'all are saying that Texas will blow them out. I think it will be close for a little bit. I think Kansas will give them a fight for a little bit. I don't really know if it will stay like that the whole game, but I think it will be a fight.
All I'll say is Kansas really, really surprised me this weekend against BYU because I thought BYU was honestly going to blow them out, but they proved me wrong.
Kansas has UCF after this too, and I think that game will be good as well. It's at Kansas. Yeah. It's at Kansas, so we'll see. And then LSU plays at Ole Miss. That game will be very close.
I'll watch that.
I don't know why it's 5 p.m. prime time, or that's not even prime time. 5 p.m. For ESPN.
Ole Miss always schedules their games at weird times. I don't know what it is, but
yeah. That's about it for college. NFL next week, though. We already did the Thursday night football game, but NFL next week, I think they got a few interesting games.
For sure.
The London.
All right, is that it for Road Ahead, Reese? Are we at our destination?
Not yet. We got a few more games.
Got you.
Got two more games.
I bet. What are they?
The first game, I know the Jaguars lost today to they lost yesterday to the Texans. But I still think it will be a good game in London. I think
Toy Story Fun Day Football. Who's excited?
Nobody's watching.
Have y'all seen that? They're doing it on Disney Plus live stream.
Nobody.
They're edited as Toy Story bobbleheads.
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch that, Max.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, but we'll see.
No, the last game I have for Road Ahead is the Dolphins and Bills. We've talked about this 45,000 times, but
yeah, I mean it's a huge game. It deserves to be.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good game, especially the Bills coming off that big win and the Dolphins coming off the biggest win in NFL history. But that's it for my Road Ahead, and Max or Taylor is next.
Yeah, well, we made it to our destination, and it's kind of boiling here. I feel like I need to take some, something to cool me down, maybe a ice cold drink or something.
The temperature is rising. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Taylor's hottest take.
Let's go. I love this segment. I actually love this segment.
Yes.
All right, boys, I'm gonna touch a realm that we've never done on this podcast before.
Okay, let's hear.
College, MLB, Max brought up boxing. We had WNBA. I'm sure when the NBA starts up, we'll talk about it a little bit. But, today I watched something with my girlfriend's brother, and it got my mind racing on what I could do for my segment. I know that I personally have grown a fan to loving this sport over the recent years. And this might be the biggest mistake or L take of all time. I have no idea. But I'm talking about my very, very early Champions League prediction in the realm of soccer.
Yeah.
So
I
my favorite team, Tottenham Hotspur, unfortunately didn't qualify for the Champions League group stage. Favorite player, Harry Kane, is no longer with us. But, human son is here. And so, maybe we'll make the Champions League next time. But my hot take is that FC Barcelona Champions League and
What?
all the way in June 1st of 2024.
That is
Okay,
wild.
let me tell you.
Yep.
I've been playing a lot of FIFA, and Barcelona is my main team. And of course, I knew this team when I was a kid because of the trio Messi, Neymar, and Luis Suarez. That's how everyone knew him.
Yeah.
Some deep dives into this team and following international soccer because let's be frank, the MLS sucks in America. Like, it's awful. It's not even
You're not
close to
wrong.
the Premier League, La Liga, and Bundesliga. But let me tell you why I'm picking Barca. So,
Okay.
first of all, they have the 5th best odds right now under Man City, Real, Arsenal. I'm pretty sure that what are the other teams? I can't think right now.
Here, hold on. I'll pull it up.
But I know they're under Man City, Real Madrid, Arsenal, of course. Maybe one of the Milan.
Yeah, I think it's Inter Milan is in it. So
Yeah.
All right, but this team and this roster is absolutely stacked, and they're winning La Liga right now. Of course, the season is young, but they're winning right now over Real. And excuse my American accent when I say these names. Like, if
I'm excited to hear this. I'm excited to hear this.
All right, we got the star keeper Ter Stegen, who has kind of struggled so far with 6 goals allowed and 15 saves in regular season play, but he steps up in big situations. We got the young stars Cancelo and Pedri, sorry, and of course the Polish Lewandowski. I mean,
he's really.
We see him every year in the World Cup, just carry Poland to around get eliminated. But we got Rafinha, Felix, Koundé, who can all lead this team. I could go on and on with the different young stars for this team, but I want to highlight the Spanish star and my personal favorite soccer player right now, Pedri. He's only a 20-year-old soccer superstar midfielder, and he's a weapon both on the offensive and defensive. I mean, we see it with his assist numbers. We see it with his defense that he plays. He locks up. And he already has awards galore, and he's only 20 years old, and he's been on the team for 2 years. He got signed at 18 to play his first.
I think I've heard about this kid, actually.
He's the future of the team. He wears number 8. I actually just ordered a jersey of him. But
oh, wow.
All right, I think this is a hot take. I mean, people in Barcelona might be cringing right now because might not be the other ones, but they gotta prove people. This league is super far away. We got the stages set. Barcelona, their group is awful. I mean, they're easily going to win their group. But, hey, we got to come back to this segment in June, and we'll see who's still talking. It'll be me because I'm always right. But
okay,
the temperature's hot. Barcelona, Pedri, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Ter Stegen. I mean, this team is insane. What are y'all's takes if y'all on soccer?
So for me, right now, I'm just looking at the table right now for Champions League. And, I mean, I can't – right now, since it's super early, I can't go against Mbappe. Mbappe or Mbappe.
Bro, of course you're going to go for Mbappe. The only player you know. And
that is not the only player I know. I know Romelu Lukaku for Inter – they changed the name, actually, Internazionale.
And Lautaro.
Milan. So, but you also got Arsenal, which – I like to watch Premier League sometimes, not all the time, but whenever I do root for Arsenal. I love what's his name?
KSI.
Saka. Saka's really good. We got some great players over there. Martin Odegaard is really good. Nketiah also really, really good. But no, I wouldn't say this is a super hot take because Barcelona, like you said, they're very skilled. Lewandowski, like you said, everybody's heard of him. But then you also got Man City, and Man City's also they're usually also really good.
It would have been a cold take if I picked Man City.
Yes, exactly. So we'll just see. Like you said, it's
I'm trying to remember who was over Barcelona.
And the odds, hold up, let me look real quick.
It was Man City, Bayern Munich. That's the team that I forgot because they just signed Harry Kane on transfer. Bayern Munich is really dangerous. Real, Arsenal, and then Barcelona's 5th. PSG best odds, which I'm kind of
That's
surprised
interesting.
about.
I mean, because
Messi and Neymar both left, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, because if they had Messi and Neymar,
Marquinhos, they got Donnarumma. They have I think Paris PSG could also make a run. Man United,
Yeah.
Inter, Napoli. They're actually tied for 7th best odds. I could easily see them doing it.
Yeah.
There's a team
Real
called
Madrid,
Young Boys in the Champions League. I have no idea who that is.
Young boys.
It'd be a young boys team.
They're in
I
the Switzerland league.
want to get to possibly one of the most entertaining things we'll listen to, or probably just one of the most, brain dead things. Reese, I want you to give your deep dive into why this is a W or a L take.
I don't really watch soccer, so
I felt that was coming. So.
Yeah, I don't really watch soccer, so that's the thing.
Who would you pick? Who you think's gonna win and why? Come on, you gotta have a team,
bro. I don't really watch soccer.
Bro, watch this man take Juventus.
What about PSV Eindhoven? Or Galatasaray. So, but it is. I'm glad you're bringing.
How the Champions League works is that you have Bundesliga, which is Germany, and you got La Liga, which is Spain, and Greece, and then you got the Premier League, which is England. 4 teams from those leagues go, and then the top 2 from the Switzerland, the Italian, and the French league go. Which the Italian is always AC and Inter Milan. I mean, it's never any other.
It's never.
You might see Olympique de Marseille getting every now and then, but these are the Milan teams. And then you see there's one Saudi Arabian team which is not Ronaldo's team. I think there's one Netherlands team every now and then. I don't think Ajax is in it though. I'm pretty sure Ajax didn't make it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is Barcelona, June 1st, 2024, and to this episode, it'll be on the.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah. We'll see y'all then, June 1st, 2024. Hopefully,
I still won't know anything about soccer.
What?
I still won't know anything about soccer.
Yeah.
I like
right about that.
We did WNBA and soccer.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
next is hockey.
That's why the people listen to this podcast. This is the People's Podcast because we go over all the sports that the people like. But now let's get into the Prize Picks.
Not sponsored by the app Prize Picks. It's time for Max's Prize Picks.
Hey, also if you have any or things you want us to talk about, we're always happy for critiques, suggestions, anything like that. If you want to just,
I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking to Dillard, who's our sponsor, CTSO for this podcast, and he was talking about we're working on getting a email for y'all to send us in, and we'll shout y'all out and everything. But y'all sending in questions, recommendations for sports to talk about.
Y'all could send us a little something if y'all want to.
Yes, we're working on that. We should have that.
Pedri shirt. Send me a Pedri jersey.
Yes, we are working on that. Hopefully we'll have that by next week's episode. But yeah, get excited for that. And now get excited for Prize Picks. And I am super excited for this week. I am going to be what was that, Reese?
I said got to love this segment.
Okay, yes. Hey, Reese with the sophomore banter. Now we're gonna do Prize Picks. And I'm going to announce the standings right now, and I'm not going to lie, it's not looking great. Taylor is currently up. He had a 7-3 record for the season.
Go!
And he's now 28-12. And so yeah, Taylor's first by a lot. Next in second place is me. Now, but Reese had a better record than me. I went 5-5 this weekend. Reese went 6-4, but I am 24-16 overall. And Reese is 21-19. So
21-19, you suck.
Reese is kind of making his way back in it, but Taylor is running away with it. And put y'all's predictions. Whatever.
I have anything to say about it.
But yeah, so we're gonna see who wins this week, And I'm gonna start off. We're gonna remain in the football realm, guys. Don't get your panties in the wad. Don't get worried. We're remaining in the football realm, but I'm gonna start with a high school football matchup. And this is because we are not going to be able to cover this on Countdown because it's a Thursday night matchup. And it is a huge one. It's Thompson, who's currently number 3 in the state of Alabama, number 1 in 7A, and they're going away against Clay Chalkville, 6A powerhouse, huge team, bunch of 5 stars. Everybody's talking about this team right now. They're 10th ranked in the state of Alabama, and they're second in 6A behind Saraland, who's number 1 in the entire state of Alabama right now. Clay Chalkville is 5-0. Thompson's 4-0 coming to this matchup. And interesting thing is, Clay Chalkville is currently favored right now. They're favored by 2 going into this game. So this is going to be a huge matchup to watch. I love it when they cross, divisions just to see what will happen. And so who do y'all got between these two powerhouses, the Thompson Warriors and Clay Chalkville? Well, I'm gonna get my prediction first. Actually, I thought this was a countdown for a second because I was focused on high school sports. Sorry. My prediction for this game is I think even though Clay Chalkville is favored, and even though they got so many 5-star powerhouses, I do think after this weekend's performance blowout over Chelsea, I think that Thompson is a really good team and should be first in the entire state of Alabama. Trent Seaborn, as far as 10th grade quarterbacks go, or actually 9th grade, excuse me, he's in 9th grade. As far as 9th grade quarterbacks go, he's him. Like, he's probably the best in the country by a long shot, for among 9th grade quarterbacks and among all quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. So I got Seaborn on the road at Clay Chalkville. I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched a lot from them. I just know a couple of their players are just really good. They got some studs. And so I'm going to go Warriors. Give me them. I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm going to go with the Warriors 38-35 on the road over Clay Chalkville. Game-winning field goal. And, yeah, a big high school finish for Thompson.
Unlike Max, who's delusional, I think this is going to be a high school blowout, not a high school shootout.
Okay.
It's going to be Thompson's going to win like 54 to like 21.
Clay Chalkville's really good.
I said 54-21. I gave him 3 touchdowns there.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to have to clean the graphic here. I'm going to go Clay Chalkville. And
God,
you know
wow.
why?
Oh, wow.
They have a 5-star, excuse my pronunciation if I get this wrong, Jalen Mbakwe. He's a 5-star.
That's the recruit I was talking about.
He's a 5-star. He's the 4 ranking in Alabama, number 2 athlete, and number 20 in the entire country.
Yeah.
And he's actually moved to quarter for Clay Chalkville after I think their starting quarterback got hurt.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot, 170 pounds, and he's a speedster quarterback. He's left-handed. I mean, he's the number 3 player in the country. So give him the ball and let's play is what Coach Drew Gilmore for Clay Chalkville said. I mean, he's got the whole package. Here. I mean, looking at Clay Chalkville's recent games, they have not played a very good team yet. They played Pinson Valley, the GOAT Bo Nix's former high school. They played Briarwood Christian, City, which are all not very good teams.
Exactly.
And then, but it is in Thompson. But I think Clay Chalkville will get the win. I think they'll get the upset, even though it's not really an upset because they're favored. I think it's an upset because I think Thompson should actually be favored in this game. But give me the Clay Chalkville Cougars. And, I always say this on Countdown. I say the mascot, go Cougars. Next pick.
Yeah, that game should be huge Thursday night.
Hey, I can afford a loss. I want to pick against Thompson. I can afford a loss. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see what happens with that game. But now we're going to move to college football. We got another pretty good slate. Not as good as this past weekend, but still a pretty good slate nonetheless. And I'm going to go for our first.
Max play football? Max Mesman highlights.
Okay. All right. So our first pick. Reese, will you let me choose a game? Will you let me choose a game, actually? Will you let me choose a game?
No,
Okay, so our first pick is going to be hold on right now. I'm going to let Reese get his chuckles out.
no, I got it. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So today we are going to start off. We're going to go to it's a decent slate. I'm trying to pick out. I'm going to go 5. We're going to go 5 college games and 4 NFL games. And I'm just going to go ahead and start off with Utah at Oregon State. Number 10 Utah at number 19 Oregon State. The Utes coming off a big win at home over the UCLA Bruins, 14-7, and they're going away against the Oregon State Beavers, who are ranked 19th, but they just lost a heartbreaker to the Washington State Cougars on the road. The current line for this game is 2.5 for the Beavers. The Beavers are actually favored in this game, and the over/under is 45.5. And I'm gonna go with Utah. I have no news to tell you right now on whether or not Cam Rising is going to be back. I think he should be because he was expected to be back this weekend. Then at the last minute, they said he's not going to be. He wasn't going to be playing, and so I think he's going to be returning this week. But even if he doesn't, this Nate Johnson kid for Utah, Nate Johnson, he can ball. He's really good. Really almost like a Lamar Jackson, but less of a throwing aspect and more running. And I know that's hard to say for Lamar because he's one of the best running quarterbacks in the league. But we'll see how this game goes. I think it's going to be very interesting on a Friday night, like we talked about earlier. This feels like it should be a Saturday primetime game. But give me the Utes on the road. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring, similar to that Utah-UCLA football game, just because I don't think DJU is going to be able to play in a big game once again. I have to see it to believe it. And then the Utes also, their offense, they don't have their starting quarterback. It's kind of not fair. But their defense is great. And so give me the Utes. I'm going to go 21-10. Oregon State's not able to score against that really good, really disciplined Kyle Whittingham defense. And give me the Utes 21-10. So I'm going with the under, and I'm going with Utah with technically on the betting line. It's an upset.
Oh, yeah. No, I think this game's a really good game. Sadly, it's on a Friday night. I don't know why it's on a Friday night. It's at 8 p.m. Friday night. But, Oregon State, I think Oregon State's really good. DJU, though, I don't think gets the job done against a very good Utah defense. And I say Utah wins this game 14-3.
Oh, wow.
I'm taking the under. I say this game's very low scoring. I don't think Oregon State really moves the ball a lot. And I think Utah's defense gets them a touchdown. And I don't really see big scoring.
I agree with you because DJU, I just got to see it first, and I haven't seen it.
Yep.
All right. I think this will be the Utah defense versus the Oregon State offense. I think this will be an absolute good game. I think the line going towards Oregon State is kind of a joke. DJ, you can look.
Let's hear this.
Uyunglele.
Crazy.
I just don't believe in him. I believe in Nate Johnson. I do think Cam Rising is actually coming back. This was actually his projected comeback was week 5. So if that's the case, then DJ
Uyunglele.
is going to lose, and Oregon State's going to lose by a lot. So give me the Utah Utes winning this game. I would say 28-24. And DJ will retire and not get drafted.
All right. Well, we'll see if we all agreed on that game that Utah's going to win. We'll see if we agree on this next pick. This game, I think, is going to be a great game. We've already talked about it earlier in the show, but I'm talking about number 22 Florida going on the road to Lexington to face an unranked Kentucky team right now. But if they get a win this weekend, they're definitely going to be ranked. So right now, the line is actually favoring Kentucky, which I think is a bit of a surprise because Florida, they beat Tennessee, which they were a team that was ranked at the time. I don't even think they're ranked anymore. Maybe just a little bit, but no, they're ranked 21 right now. But no, I think this is an interesting matchup. Kentucky, the University of Kentucky really hasn't impressed me at all so far, especially their defense. Their defense against Vanderbilt did not look good at all. I mean, they allowed 28 points to a Vanderbilt team that is just completely like they're still Vanderbilt. That's all that's all I'm gonna say. Vanderbilt, the forever in rebuild mode team. I think that Vanderbilt is not a great team, and Kentucky only beat them by 17, which I say only.
Hello
but,
and welcome to Oz Countdown. I am Max Mesman, and I am with my hands smash the over.
Okay, so Google, thanks Google for that. And so Devin Leary against Vanderbilt did show that he was really good. He looked kind of like he did at NC State. But I'm gonna go with Kentucky here. Actually, I'm gonna trust the bettors because we talk about in some games, the quarterback being the X factor for the team to win the game. But I think this game is decided anymore.
Aggressively and smashing the over.
Okay. But no, this game couldn't be any more important in terms of the quarterback position. So I think Devin Leary is better than Graham Mertz. And so give me the Kentucky Wildcats. Give me them. I'm going to go. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game either because both of these offenses are okay. But Kentucky's defense, I think, is just a little bit better than Florida's. So I'm going to go Kentucky 27-23. Give me Kentucky. I'm going to hit the over right here. Not smash it, but I'm going to hit it right now.
Oh, God.
So 27-23. Give me that over, and give me Kentucky beating the spread against the Gators.
I don't necessarily like Florida. Well, actually, I don't like Florida at all. But I think this will be a good game. Kentucky's 4-0, and it's in Lexington, like you said, Max, and it's Kentucky's a 3-point favorite, which I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised that they're a 3-point favorite.
Bro, Taylor has turned into a sound effect button. So,
but
if y'all couldn't tell we were high schoolers before, you can now.
No, I just yeah.
So, Reese, who do you have as your pick? Reese, just talk over at this point. I don't know what we're gonna do. So he's lost control.
I think Kentucky will beat Florida. I actually think they'll beat them by 14 points. I think it'll be 24-10.
Oh wow, you don't believe in Florida at all?
No. Well, see, the thing is, like I said earlier, they beat an overrated Tennessee team. So I really don't see Florida doing that good, even since they beat them. I still see Florida losing about 9 games, or not 8 games, 9 games.
We'll see.
7 games.
Taylor, the meme generator. who do you got between Florida and Kentucky?
Give me the Florida Gators winning this game easily.
Wow.
Graham Mertz is way too good. Y'all keep telling me they're going to keep coming at you. You keep underrating them. They'll keep coming at you and keep winning and win the SEC East over Georgia and Kentucky. Give me the Florida Gators winning this game very easily against the Kentucky Wildcats because Kentucky won and Florida has experience already playing good teams. So give me the Florida Gators winning by 7.
I do not know what's going on, but I'll agree with you that Trevor Etienne is really good, but Graham Mertz is not him. I'll have to disagree with you there, but we'll just see. We'll see what goes down this Saturday. Next, we got a game that I think could have possibly been game day, and I said it earlier in the show. Number 24, undefeated Kansas, 4-0. They go to Texas. They go to Austin, and they're going to Texas team who's number 3 right now, 4-0, 1-0 in the Big 12. And the current line is Texas by 17, and the over-under is 62, which I think is really interesting. I mean, both these offenses are pretty good. I have to go Texas here. I don't think this is, really that big of a question. I just wanted to cover it because this is a big game. I mean, both teams are 4-0. Both teams are ranked. This is a big swing game in the Big 12. If Kansas somehow upsets Texas, Kansas is the number one in the Big 12, undoubtedly.
That'd be crazy.
But what?
That'd be crazy if that happened.
It would be wild. But no, I'm gonna go with Texas winning this game. I'm gonna go 42-31. I think it's gonna be a really close game. Not a really close game. I think it's gonna be a really high scoring game because Kansas defense isn't great at all, and Texas defense is okay, but they're still not super good. And so I'm gonna go Texas 42-31. Give me Texas not covering, but give me the over by a lot. Texas winning this game. Go Longhorns. Who do you got?
Oh, Rockjaw Jayhawk. I think Kansas actually might.
Oh, there's no way.
This is why Reese is losing and almost has a record under 500.
If you wonder why he has a 21-19 record, that's the reason.
I'm kidding. I think Texas will win, but I think it'll be close. I do. But I think it'll be a high score.
Shows with the matchup predictor. I think with the tickets. The tickets are cheap as ever. Quinn Ewers is going to demolish Kansas.
This
game is going to be 56-14. Texas Longhorns. The Horns are back. We're back.
He already made his pick. He's like drunk or something.
Yeah, I know. Taylor, are you good, brother? Are you good?
Yes, bro. Texas is going to win.
Okay, well, Reese, who do you think is going to win?
I think Texas wins by 2 touchdowns. I say 31-17.
Good pick. All right, next we got a big game in the SEC West, and it's number 13 LSU going to Oxford, going to Ole Miss. Number 20 ranked Rebels 3-1 after a heartbreaker against Alabama. Not really a heartbreaker; they weren't really in the game after halftime. But LSU with a close one against Arkansas. Some people kind of questioning whether this LSU team is fully legit. Can they continue, playing well? And so we'll see. This is going to be a tough road test, but I got LSU on the road. I don't think this Ole Miss team. I think they were way too overhyped going into that Alabama game, and I think that LSU is going to win this game. The line is only LSU by 2.5. I think that is kind of crazy. If you're more on the betting side of things, I would definitely take this game and take LSU by more than 2.5. I'm actually going to take LSU by 14 in this game. I'm going to go LSU wins this game 35-21, all touchdowns, no field goals. And give me Jaden Daniels and the LSU Tigers with a 56-point spread. I'm going to go with the under, and I'm going to go LSU covering by a lot. Go Tigers.
I think Ole Miss will win.
Reese, you gonna be able to
Yeah, Ole Miss will lose. I think LSU wins. Actually, I think this is a high scoring game. I think that
Reese is tripping over here, bro.
LSU wins 31-10.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I
think Ole Miss does the same thing they did last week, and just I think Jackson Dart's a little overrated, honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Taylor, who you
Jaden
got?
Daniels is going to ball out in this game. Excuse me. I was still thinking about Kansas because Reese was distracted. Jaden Daniels is going to go crazy. I mean, he already has 12 touchdowns on the season. Give me LSU big. I would say 31-17. I do think this will be high scoring. So, yeah, give me. And also, Max, I want to tell you something. Tremarcus Webb actually posted us on his Instagram as his last slide.
Hey, that's awesome. Go Cheetah. He's a great player, and yeah. But next, I like that LSU. We'll see if he keeps posting us after all these memes. But next we got number 11 Notre Dame at number 17 Duke. College game day is going to Durham for the first time in history, and it couldn't be a bigger matchup for the Blue Devils. Notre Dame coming off that true heartbreaker on the final second of the game against Ohio State. 4-1 are the Irish coming into this game. And Duke is 4-0 coming into this game, undefeated, looking to go 5-0 for the first time in a while. And the line is favoring Notre Dame. Even after their loss, it's favoring Notre Dame minus 5.5, and the over-under is 51.5. But I'm going to go with Duke. I'm going to go with Duke on this one. I think they upset the Irish at home. I think they're actually legit. I think they're one of the best teams, especially in the ACC. And give me the Blue Devils. I'm going to go 27-24. I think this game's going to be really close. I think Sam Hartman is legit. I think that the rest of his offense just couldn't help him. So I think that Duke wins this one 27-24. Give me right underneath the spread, but give me Duke upsetting the Irish at home. Watch out for the Blue Devils because they could possibly win the ACC.
Yeah, no, I think Duke's a sneaky ACC championship team. I honestly think Duke's defense shows out in this game. I say Duke actually wins this game, 24 to 14. So I say Duke wins at home, and they're storming the field again. They're
100%.
Yeah, they're storming the field again. But anyway, back to the ads.
I'm gonna have to. I think Duke is a little overrated. I mean, they did beat that ranked Clemson team, who Clemson is now unranked because Clemson.
I mean, they played
performing to their
Florida
standard.
State.
All I'm saying is Duke has played UConn,
Reese, you're gonna get us
Northwestern,
copyrighted, by the way.
and
But anyway, keep going.
Lafayette. So I got Notre Dame. I just think they're the better team. They were so close to being Ohio State. They just lost at the last second. And win this game big. I got them 31-14 easily.
Yeah, I think that game might be it's going to be a really good game. I like the pick by College Game Day. But now let's move into the NFL, and we got a 4-game slate that we're going to pick. These are all going to be big games. I think this slate is 100% times better than this week's slate that we have right now as we're recording this podcast. And we're going to start off with the Ravens going to the Browns. Now, this is an interesting game. It's a divisional game, so it's a big one for both of these teams. The Ravens are 2-1, and the Browns are 2-1 as well. The Browns didn't look great against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but we'll see how they bounce back against the Ravens. Deshaun Watson, he looked all right. He didn't look great, but he looked all right. And then we'll see how the Ravens bounce back after. Well, they won't be bouncing back, but they are 2-1. Actually, they lost today. Yeah, they lost to the Colts. So we'll see how they bounce back as well. I'm going to go. It's Browns by 2 is the line, and then the over-under is 42 right now. I'm going to go. I don't know. This is a toss-up. I'm going to flip a coin, and I'm going to go with the Browns here at home. Give me the home field advantage. I know that their logo looks like an elk, but I'm going to go with the Browns winning this game. Very close. I don't think it's going to be necessarily high scoring. Give me the Browns 21-20, actually. 21-20 over the Ravens. So that's going to be right underneath the under. And then I'm going to go with the Browns not beating the spread, but winning the game, beating the Ravens at home. Give me the Browns. Huge win for Cleveland.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, Max.
Okay.
I don't think that honestly, I think the Ravens this week was just a fluke. Honestly, I think the Colts are a decent team. But I see the Ravens going into Cleveland and showing up the Cleveland home crowd, and I see Lamar Jackson maybe rushing for about 130 yards. And I'm gonna say the Ravens win this game 21-17.
Okay.
All right. Cleveland! Give me the Browns winning this game. I don't believe in the Ravens. Both these teams kind of have a mutual respect for each other. Both of their starting backs got injured for the season, J.K. Dobbins and Nick Chubb. So, have a little handshake here and there. They might kind of feel bad for each other, but nah. Browns fans always show out. I got Cleveland winning this game. I think Deshaun Watson will play better. The Browns looked good today. I will say that. The Browns looked very good today against the Titans. I think it was kind of after that tough loss that they had week 2 against the Steelers. So Ravens 24-17.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I agree with you, Taylor. I disagree with the Ravens once again. And now I'm going to go to the Buccaneers at the Saints. Now, I know the Buccaneers, when we're recording this, we record on Sunday, so we don't know if the Buccaneers beat the Eagles or not by the time that this comes out. But I expect that the Buccaneers won't beat the Eagles. But as it stands when we're recording this, they are 2-0, and the Saints are 2-1 after a tough loss against the Packers, a game that I thought we would definitely win, especially when it got to the fourth quarter and we were up 17-0. Apparently, I was wrong. The Saints lost. They blew it in Lambeau Field. And this game is going to be – they're going to be returning back to Caesar Superdome. And I think that this is going to be a bounce-back game for the Saints. Obviously, we're gonna see how they do against a really good Eagles team tomorrow night. But so far, as it stands right now, I don't believe in this Buccaneers team that much. And this isn't me just being a Saints fan. I just think that Caesar Superdome is one of the better home field advantages in the country. And the line right now is New Orleans -3, and the over-under is 40.5. I'm going to go with the Saints winning this one. Give me them. I don't think either of these offenses are great. So I'm going to go Saints 17-14 over the Buccaneers, right exactly on the smack dab on the line. And then the over-under, I'm going to go way under on this one. Give me the Saints 17-14. Who dat win the Saints?
Yeah, no, I think this is a good NFC South matchup. It'll probably be – well, I don't really know. Wait, so the standings for the NFC South are the Saints first?
No, Buccaneers technically because they're 2-0. So, yeah.
So, I do think the Saints Stadium's actually a hard place to play, and I think the Saints will win this game pretty big. I think Baker Mayfield's the most overrated quarterback in the National Football League. I see, Jameis Winston probably would play very good for the Saints. And the Saints defense will show out. I'm going to say Saints win this one 31-7.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, I'm a Saints
definitely
fan.
Gonna have to disagree with y'all on this one.
Okay,
it's not from personal bias. I just think the Buccaneers are a better team than the Saints. I mean, especially with Derek Carr out. And you saw when Jameis Winston came, y'all did absolutely nothing, and that's what led to Green Bay coming back. So the Buccaneers' defense is insane. I think both these great defenses, and I don't think Baker Mayfield is the answer long run. But I think he could lead them to a decent season and maybe a playoff spot. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the receiving core will go crazy against the Saints' weaker secondary. So give me the Buccaneers. I say by a field goal. I think the only touchdowns scored are Rashad White, 2 touchdowns, and then maybe a Taysom Hill, an Alvin Kamara coming back touchdown. But give me the Buccaneers by a game-winning.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned Alvin Kamara coming back. I meant to mention that when I was picking them. But, yeah, we lose Derek Carr, but I don't think that Jameis Winston was the problem. I looked at his stats for that game. He was like 16 for 18 with 101. So it was really – we just had no run game. And, I mean, it's understandable because our top 2 running backs are out. But next week we got Kamara coming back. And then Jameis Winston, yes, I don't expect him to have a great game. But as long as he, keeps away from the picks, no more than 1, I'm praying that he doesn't become the Buccaneers 30-30, Jameis Winston. And I hope he just keeps it steady and beats the Buccaneers. But now we move into a big game, Thursday night, prime time, NFC North, the Detroit Lions going to the Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field. The Lions coming off a big win. Both these teams actually coming off a big win today. The Lions beating the Falcons at home, and they're going to the Packers, who, like I just said, came back against the Saints. Jordan Love showed a lot of poise, a lot of heart, and I'm gonna go with the Packers winning this one. Jordan Love, I said last week, and I said the week before when we picked him, I said I still don't believe in Jordan Love. He just doesn't have the experience. Blah 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 blah. But now he has looked great, and he hasn't thrown any interceptions. There's not a lot of QBs right now that can say that. Right now, he also has 6 touchdowns. That's 2 touchdowns a game so far this season. Like I said, you should pick him up in fantasy if you haven't already. I'm going to try and see if I can pick him up, but we'll see how that goes in waiver wire. But Detroit is currently Detroit is favored -1.5, and over-under is 44.5. And I'm going to go with the Packers upsetting technically because of the betting line at home on Thursday Night Football. Jordan Love gets it done again. And the Packers win this game. Give me them. I actually think this will be a little bit of a high-scoring game. Give me them 27-24 over the Lions. So that's going to beat the over. And give me the Packers beating the Lions in Lambeau. Cheeseheads, go Packers.
Hey, earlier when we were doing this, I think the game line was 2 for Detroit. So
yeah, so it just changed.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to be a close one.
I think the Lions actually come into Lambeau and win.
Oh wow.
Golf gets it done. And I see the Lions winning. I see the Lions winning. I'm going to say 17-10 in Lambeau. A lot of defense on Thursday night.
Taylor?
Oh, sorry, my thing lagged out a little bit. I gotta agree with Reese here. I mean, the Lions beat the Chiefs in primetime in Arrowhead, and Lambeau is, I would say, a little bit easier than Arrowhead. I mean, Arrowhead Stadium is the hardest place to play.
It's the loudest stadium. It's one of the loudest.
But, yeah, Jordan, like you said, but Jared Goff has also looked good. With 576 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. And I just believe in the game more. I think David Montgomery is still out for that. But Jahmyr Gibbs gets his rookie season off start. Giving by 14 in Lambeau.
Oh wow.
That's not bad.
In Lambeau? In Lambeau?
Yes. The Lions are a good team. The Lions are good.
Hey, the Lions
heartbreaker against the Seahawks last week. They only lost by 6.
Yeah. In the long run, I feel like towards the end of the season, it's really a toss-up right now in the NFC North between the Lions or Packers. And this game will obviously tell a lot because, the winner is obviously the better team. That's the way it works. And so I think, like you said, the Lions winning. I got the Packers winning. But we'll see how that game goes on Thursday Night Football in prime time. And now for our last pick of the day, and like Reese said earlier, we talked about this game 45,000 times. Make it 45,001 now that I'm mentioning it. The Dolphins going to the Bills, 3-0 Dolphins versus the 2-1 Bills after the Bills lost to the Jets. And currently the line stands at the Bills minus 2.5 is the line right now. Not a surprise because it's in Buffalo. It is a tough place to play, and it's probably going to get really, really chilly down there. And the over-under is 53.5 right now. I don't know. This one is also a big toss-up because you got both of these teams blew out other teams. Now, the Dolphins played what's going to end up being like one of the worst teams by the end of the season. They're already one of the worst teams against the Broncos. And then the Bills, they actually played a game that we had on our picks last week, and a lot of us thought was going to be at least within 14 or 17 points. They beat them 37-3 at Washington. So I don't know. I honestly don't know for this pick, but right now I can't go against the Dolphins after getting almost an NFL record against the Broncos with 70 points. Like you put up that number, like that's college football going against a cupcake numbers. Like we don't see that often, if at all. And so I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'm going to go with my MVP, Tua Tagovailoa. I can't say his full name, or I might get canceled. So I'm going to go with Tua and the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, that whole team. Jalen Waddle, he might still be out, actually. Yeah, Jalen Waddle's probably still going to be out. But Raheem Mostert, possibly Devon Achane if he gets some touches. Putting up 50 this weekend was actually crazy in fantasy. And so give me the Dolphins right now. I think this is going to be a super high-scoring game. Give me the Dolphins 41-38 over the Bills in Orchard Park, in Highmark Stadium, 41-38. So I am smashing that over, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Go, Dolphins. Go, Tua Tagovailoa.
I think a very high-scoring game. Actually, Max, you picked 1 point under what I was going to pick. I'm going to go Dolphins winning 42-38. I'm going to say very high.
Hey, we're on the same page.
Tua will play a very good game, and Tyreek Hill will probably catch about 2 touchdown passes, and Mostert will probably get a lot of rushing yards like he did this week or last week. And, it's going to be a good game. Josh Allen should play good, and so should Stephon Diggs. And both defenses, they won't need him.
All right, I'm going to have to disagree with both of y'all again on this pick.
Of course.
I believe in what the Bills are doing. I think the Bills are a better team than the Dolphins overall. I mean, the Dolphins have not played the best teams yet. I feel like the Bills have played better teams, Las Vegas Raiders, Commanders, and they whooped the Commanders.
The Raiders are terrible, but go ahead.
Whoa!
Okay, don't ruin my pick. The Bills are going to win this game because of one person, and that one person is Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is going to have a field day against this Miami secondary. Honestly, Russell Wilson didn't play awful against the Dolphins secondary. They gave up a lot to players like Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. It just didn't go the Broncos' way today. I think the Dolphins' defense is not as good as the Bills' defense as well. So I'm going to have to go to the Bills. I think Josh Allen has a big game. I think he gets 3 touchdowns, probably 0 picks, probably 200 to 300 yards. I got to go to the Bills here. Bills Mafia, stand up. Y'all are going to win by – give me the Bills by 10.
Ooh.
I got the Bills winning 56 to 46. That's my final score.
Dang.
Wow.
I scored.
56 points is crazy. But it's also crazy, the Dolphins winning by, putting up 70. So we'll have to agree to disagree. But what's also crazy is that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Tigers Den, episode 5. We hope y'all enjoyed. This was a really fun episode to record. Every episode that we record is very fun to film. Please rate us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple or wherever y'all listen to podcasts. Please also go listen to Play Callers as well. We had a great talk this weekend with Coach Graham Ferguson. That will be releasing tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. And also, just keep enjoying the show. We enjoy recording it, and we hope y'all enjoy listening to it. And we hope to see y'all next week when we cover a big weekend of football, big week of baseball, and all things sports.
Bye. 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 Bye.
That was funny.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central. Also be sure to check out our other podcast, Play Callers, where we interview a coach from Auburn High School football. Be sure to check out those episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central on all platforms.